Because they overemphasize the difference, right? We talked about that? Remember talking about that? Where was that at? That was, where's the one that we had the icons? Let's see if I can find this. Can't find it.
Oh, page 2.
It's page 2?
Well, there's a flaw one of those reading graphs that has a picture of Gabby.
There you go. Yes. Okay? So, it overemphasizes it, right? Because really, instead of being just a simple 2D, it becomes a 3D thing, right? All right? And that's on page 63 if you look at the cigarettes, right? Again, you're overemphasizing it, right? So that's one. Then we also talked about when we were doing bar graphs or histograms, or when we talked about bar graphs, we said that the width had to be the same, right? Remember I showed you a histogram that looked really funky, that looked like a histogram that looked like this, right? How if the widths are different, it overemphasizes or de-emphasizes different things. Okay, we talked about that. That's not in your book, but just realize that this is another way to screw up a graph or you know, something like that. Then the one that everybody knows is the non-zero axis. It is the non-zero axis. Go to page 63. Top of page 63, they are displaying the same data there. But you can see on the left-hand side how it really overemphasizes the difference, because the true difference is on the right-hand side, right? OxyContin versus placebo. If you look at the difference there versus the left-hand side, what's the difference there? How do I end up with something like the left-hand side when I'm displaying the same data? What's the difference between the left and the right? What's the difference in the y-axis? The one starts on the left-hand side starts with 10%, right? Versus 0, where it should start at, right? Because when it starts at 0 is when we can truly make a good observation. You can compare the two, right? So remember, sometimes you guys had a graph that looked like this, and you would actually start here, right? There are times when you do want to look at the difference in a closer part, and I don't know, maybe this is like, I don't know, 10,000 versus this is 12,000, and you look at the difference here, okay, versus 0 here. So it's also called not only the non-zero, it's sometimes called the broken axis, right? Because you actually break the axis on purpose to start with something that's not 0. So that is the non-zero, okay, whatever. Non-zero axis, there's a blue box there, read that. See if that makes sense to you. Again, the point there to remember is that if you use a non-zero axis, the differences are exaggerated, okay? Then on page 63, there's the pictographs. That's the icon thing that we just talked about. Read that for me. Make sure you understand that. Make sure you completely understand that. Okay, so the things that we talked about today. First of all was the frequency polygon. Frequency polygon, which is basically a histogram in disguise, right? You're just connecting the midpoints of the class and go ahead and just connecting the dots. Then we talked about the 3 different ways to distort data or misrepresent data. Icons / pictographs, broken axis, and then the different widths in a bar graph, right? Or a histogram, correct? Done. We're done for today.